All right, Big Man, today is Wednesday. It's February 16th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. We told you yesterday, Tinder Swindler. We're getting down to it. Free swim today. So hopefully you listened or you watched it. If you didn't, you should probably go watch that first. But regardless, you'll enjoy this in some type of way. Dante, Chief, myself, what a show.
Could not put, never had to pick up my phone. Totally locked in the entire time. It was a perfect documentary. It was like the best one we've watched in a long time. And I think, Harry, you were saying off mic that it was by the same people who did Don't Fuck with Cats.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They did a great, Don't Fuck with Cats was awesome.
Awesome.
That's why it was so fucking well done then.
Yeah.
I was blown away. I kept waiting. The first hour, I was like, this seems pretty normal. Like, what the fuck is... Because the buzz on social media was crazy.
Yeah.
Last night, I'm like... What is so outrageous about all this? And then the fucking shoe dropped. And when the loans start going out and all that shit's happening, you start saying, I have a bad feeling about this.
It was like, you know what it reminded me of was Catch Me If You Can. With like the DiCaprio movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was a lot of like similarities, except like he's not like preying on Pan Am. He's preying on like these women.
Frank Abagnale Jr.
Frank Abagnale,
He was my college commencement speaker.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just like, yeah.
Swear to God.
Shut the fuck up.
He does like a speaking tour.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What did he talk about?
He was, honestly, I don't really recall, but he was just kind of like, just like, give your best and shit like that. One of those, I believe so. That was a long time ago at this point. He wasn't very long. That's one of the notes I had where he was a pretty quick and concise commencement speaker. He didn't go on forever.
We'll go back to the show in a second, but there is one story about him that I just fucking love.
What's
so
that?
You have like the Tom Hanks character, and he goes through all these different things. The fracking Abagnale, like you forge this, you forge that, you forge this, and then eventually though, you can't forge passing the bar exam. So he's like, how did you do it? How did you pass the fucking bar exam? Because he passed it. Like, how did you? He's like, I studied for it and I passed it. So like he was just like a brilliant kid.
Genius, yeah.
And he this is the one thing I can't forge. He figured out how to pass the bar exam.
Genius.
That's fucking crazy.
I had a friend.
No law school, no nothing. Just like studied himself and passed it.
I had a friend who had another of our friends take his SAT for him.
Okay, how'd that go?
He fucking flying colors.
Yeah.
And his parents paid the other kid to take it.
That's so much easier
The
than
Derrick Rose story.
That's so much easier than you realize too.
I mean, I think back then it was. I think now it's
harder now.
They have to. It's got to all be like QR codes
Digital
and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even like ACT, like you could look over at someone. Well, you probably didn't take the ACT.
No,
right?
we had SATs.
I took them both.
You took them both?
Yeah.
We had like one of the proxies was like a gym teacher. He just had a big newspaper up. You know what I mean? So kids were, just
Yeah,
not me.
No, but this kid went in with a fake ID of our friend and was like,
I'm this guy?
I'm so-and-so. Sat down, took it, knocked it out. Kid,
Crazy.
he was a hockey guy.
Yeah.
He needed the score.
So we had a guy like that who did the same thing, like needed a score to get into a particular school, like really struggled with math. And like the way it worked was that you could take the test as many times as you want, and you don't have to have one sitting score. Like you could take, I got this SAT score, and then I got the other time I took it, my verbal was high. You just take
you combine them?
Highest combined from whatever. And this wasn't SAT, this was ACT. Out of nowhere, this fucking moron somehow got a 34 on the math. Like, not a math guy. Was getting like 17, 18 on the math. Shows up one day with 34. So I think there is a little bit of that goes on too. But in this case, Frank Abagnale just absolutely nailed the bar, passed the bar.
Where did you see that, Harry? I'm not seeing Don't Fuck with Cats. And
they said it in the opening credits too. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not seeing that on their Wikipedia and on their IMDb. But regardless, it was very well done. And actually, before we do get into it fully, I do want to say, obviously, Super Bowl was on this past Sunday. Commercial of the Super Bowl, in my opinion, was, of course, the Soprano Chevy Silverado. And so that's why I want to talk about Chevy Drive Chicago, because when you got a sponsor like that and the stars align, it's just a great time. So go to ChevyDriveChicago.com. And you could enter a special giveaway just for you Blackhawks fans. Your local Chevy dealer, they're giving away one Patrick Kane signed jersey. Entering is easy. Go to ChevyDriveChicago.com to enter to win. And if you're looking to drive O'Kane and Taze Drive, see your local Chevy dealer today. Meadow, AJ, that was beautiful.
Great.
Why was AJ in there? Come on. Out of sight, out of mind. I was fine not having that kid in my fucking life anymore. And then they had to like
pops up.
They had to throw him a bone and give him a cameo. Meadow still looks really good.
Sure. Oh yeah. But regardless, great commercial. Chevy did an awesome job. I mean, those
we love Chevy.
Commercials are so expensive, and you really got to knock them out of the park. Chevy knocked out of the park.
Yep.
And that electric Silverado looks pretty fucking sweet.
So I didn't see it during the Super Bowl because we were on like the party. It popped up as like a pre-roll.
Yeah.
It was like the first time I've never done like the skip after 5 seconds. Like it was just like I just sat there and watched the commercial on
that
YouTube.
music just plays.
Yeah,
man. It just plays. So that's fantastic job by Chevy. Go check out Chevy. Like I said, ChevyDriveChicago.com. Enter your area code, your zip code, and you could be able to see where the closest dealership is to you. All right, so the Tinder Swindler. So I was under the impression, given the name and given what I saw, I thought it was just a guy who just ghosts a bunch of chicks. That's what I thought it would be, ghosting. And I know there was like you see like go viral once in a while, like guys who like snake out of these dinners, like they get up before the check comes and stuff like that. I was under the impression that's what this was. It was not it.
I had that thought for a second, and then I was like, well, there's probably 10 million people like that. They're going to make a documentary. Like, it's too common of a thing.
But I thought we were getting like the king of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
well, we did. Yeah, it was definitely the king of that, but to a whole different level. But yeah, that's I don't even know how to like tee it up.
So listen, this is what the Wikipedia description. The film tells the story of an Israeli con man, Simon Leviv, who uses the dating application Tinder to locate individuals who he emotionally manipulates into providing financial support for his lavish lifestyle.
Pretty spot on.
Yes. So basically, this guy Simon, fake name, just hits up these girls, goes on a date with them. This guy says he worked for a diamond company.
Yeah, like he's the heir to this like diamond fortune. Like his dad's like the king of diamonds or something like that.
The De Beers sorcerer.
Like he like somehow they said that guy, because I looked into him a little bit too. Like he kind of broke, like the diamond industry is a cartel.
3 families.
Yeah. And it's been that way forever. And this guy supposedly, the dad is a real guy. It's just not his son. Okay, so, but he like broke through and like made $1 billion being this diamond guy. And he said like, this is my dad. And he would like whisk these girls away on like private jets and stay at 5-star hotels and this and that, like and all around Europe. They're in Amsterdam, they're in London, they're in Oslo. They're just going to Prague, the most extravagant, wearing Gucci, driving Ferraris and Bentleys and Phantom. The whole thing. It was just like this guy's got
personal driver, personal security.
Yep.
Fucking Peter.
That fucking guy.
Yeah, and then he would just say like, "Oh, these people are trying to kill me, and my enemies are after me. Like my accounts are frozen for my own safety. Can you please send me money?" And then they always did.
It was crazy, dude.
Like crazy amounts of money.
But like, and that's another thing where, like you said about Abagnale, like how he passed the bar. Like this guy, at the same time, as much of a scumbag and as much of a con man he has to be insanely intelligent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, he went to jail twice for this, for these types. But it is like, and they said it in the documentary, like this is like a Ponzi scheme. This is like a pussy train.
That's the only way it worked, and it was so confusing watching the documentary. That's why I thought they did such a good job, because when it started, you had no idea where it was going, and you actually kept your interest. Like you said, you didn't pick up your phone once. First hour, I'm like, where the fuck is this going? This guy seems super legit. They show the picture of him with the Diamond family, and Cheryl.
Which I thought looked photoshopped.
Cheryl,
right when I saw
Cheryl immediately goes, "That's the most photoshopped picture I've ever seen."
Easily.
Like what? Like, shh, watch. Later on, it's like super photoshopped. But like, if it was just one girl, you're like, how did he do? Okay, if he was able to bring her on these trips, he had to have money from somewhere.
Right.
But it was from the past girl. So it's like he was robbing Peter to pay Paul the whole time, and he just kept finding these girls and pulling the same thing. He would invite them to a lavish location. He would fly them private, meet them at like a Four Seasons or something, whisk them away, be like, I'm falling for you. Do you want to come to my next business trip with me? Like just knock them off their feet and then let them free. And then throughout the month, he'd have this long distance relationship with them where he roped them in even deeper. And then that's when the financial shit would
start.
What
do you think his like hit rate?
Dude, he went on for years. What did they say the total number was? Over 10 million?
I think it was
end of the day.
I think it was something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, he got that one girl for $200,000. She said, right?
Roughly, yeah.
All said and done. So I mean, do the math. I mean, that's a lot of women.
But right. So that's what I guess. What like how many like per the matches and per the girls that he's talking to, how many matches turn into like a cash source for him? Like that's what I was like always wondering. You
like
know?
How many girls were like fuck you?
Yeah. Like, did he have 3 girls in London?
How many girls like fuck you and it's like, oh, take out a loan for me?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, like, what's the profit situation? I wonder too, because he's investing.
Dude,
you know,
I mean,
there's
well,
definitely an ROI.
Well, dude, this is the thing that
I don't think so.
You would think so, because how did he end up in a hostel? Like
$12 a night.
Yeah, dead broke. If he was smart, he would have been doing that. But I think he was just blowing every cent, thinking this is never going to end.
But here's the thing, though: if he signed her up for that company, which was obviously a fucking sham company, and he, direct deposited her $100,000, like,
I mean, that people do that. That's check fraud.
Yeah, but that cuts into what he was making, whatever he got, the 250 from her overall.
Oh, but I mean,
You know
it
what I
never
mean?
cleared though. That never cleared.
I thought the first one cleared.
I don't think so.
No, I could have.
No.
I know the second one.
No,
the
I
one
think
for
she.
$500.
I think she kept calling the bank, and they were like, "We're not cashing this."
Oh, okay. I could have swore the first one did, and that's what she was like. Oh, I'm an employee. I got this now.
I did have a few questions though after watching it that the doc didn't answer. I posted on Twitter, and KFC was like, "Dude, thought the same fucking thing." This guy we always said is incredibly intelligent, but how did he get an LLDiamonds.com email address? Because he was emailing these girls from like a legit email address.
Like, I'm going to hire you, and here's your pay stub.
I put this on Twitter, and all these like tech people were like, dude, it's so easy to clone an email address. Like, go on YouTube for me one time.
That scares the shit out of me.
That scares the fuck out of me too.
What the fuck?
So that, and how did he manipulate the Google search results? Like, this one girl was like, obviously when you meet somebody, you Google them to look them up. She's like, I punched in his name, and they showed the websites. They showed the like archives. His name came up as like not LinkedIn, but linked to
that company,
the diamond company and shit. And he had like a bio. I mean, that's fucking nuts that this guy put in this much like legwork.
Oh yeah,
for this
he went
con.
all out, dude. But so you're saying maybe I thought that because her credit limits went huge because of that proof of whatever.
Yeah.
So that never cleared. You're saying that,
But it enabled her to get a credit limit.
Get a line of credit,
Okay. Yeah. I mean, dude. I mean, listen. Obviously, they were victims in this,
big time.
but you're going to 9 to 10 different loan places. At what point does your light bulb go off?
They were in love, dude.
9 to 10 different creditors, dude. That's so many.
They were just seeing dollar signs.
That's so fucking many. Right or no?
I mean, it's a lot to have 9
That's a lot.
9 creditors. Yeah, it's a lot.
If you're trying to get into the mind of a female, good luck.
But
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I agree with you. That's why I was asking what his hit rate was, because they focused primarily the documentary on three girls, but really only 2 of them got like the big swindle that were featured.
I think there were more that were just like, I'm not going to be on the show
participating in this.
because the journalists that pretty much cracked this whole case, they did this article. I looked it up. I don't know how the fuck like you knew none of this going into it, right?
No.
This was a huge story when it broke. I think it was like 2015.
2017, I think.
All right. When this broke, this was like all like there are tons of fucking links to this expose that they did. But yeah, they had a lot of like anonymous victims in the article that were like, and it was the same pattern over and over and over. The other thing that was fucked, we can talk about Peter in a minute. I know you want to talk about this guy. The other thing that was fucked was the mother of his child, who was like,
what was that?
They didn't
like,
go into that more. They should have went into that more.
That lady was in like almost half of the other women's cases too. They were all like, we met this woman who had this baby with him. We don't know if the kid was real, if she was real, but she was a victim too, and she was in on the con afterwards. So like, did he when she confronted him, was he like, hey, come in and I'll take care of you?
He flipped her.
Maybe it was he actually accidentally got her pregnant. So then she had to be brought in. Like, all right, so here's the deal. Like, I'll support you through this, but because she even said like the main girl from Oslo was like, I asked, I got time alone with the mother of his, and like, oh, he's a great father, he still provides for us. So like maybe that was the only thing that was true, but he was using like, you say it this way so they buy in, and but maybe he just like actually got her pregnant, and then like this is the way it is,
because she was part of the lawsuit in Israeli, right? I believe so.
Yes, but she's never been charged with anything. So she's never been.
Yeah.
So the fact that the whole thing that went on and he stole all this money, he did 5 months in jail.
Insane.
Fucking insane.
It says here though, as of 2019, he's still wanted in several countries for fraud. So
okay, but
maybe this motherfucker should. Doc should elevate this, and this guy should be back in the spotlight again.
Did you find his Instagram?
No, did you?
Yeah. So since we were sitting here, I went to pull it up again, and there's like a bunch of different ones now. And he said, like, because remember they showed it, like his Instagram. Now it's gone private. So and it says my initial handle, Simon Lviv official, was hacked, telling the real story and press release in 2 days. But earlier this month, so I just requested to follow him. He has 186,000 followers. So that was the other thing. It's like you pull up his Instagram account looks fucking legit too. He's flying around these private jets. He's got a ton of followers. It was like you would just assume that means it legitimizes you in a way. I would think that.
Sure,
yeah,
for sure.
So,
listen, if you ever talk to someone and like one of the best things of this job is like, hey, if I'm like, you know where to find me. Like I'm pretty much out in the open now. We all are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like obviously you have a fiance and shit, but that's the truth. When you have, to a degree, he had that many followers. Like I don't know. There is some type of I don't know.
Like it's like it validates like who he is in a way.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So that was just like, and now, but like I wish he didn't go private. Or like delete the other account, because he had like the white on the black screen, white text black screen, being like, this is bullshit, like I'm gonna be fighting this, like none of that stuff is true, Netflix is a very powerful company, but we're going after them, and like had this whole story. He's like, I'll be releasing the real story in 2 days.
These people are pathological, man. They're like OJ, like they convince themselves of the narrative. And they really believe it. Like he could pass a lie detector test easily.
Tinder.
I don't know though.
Tinder, like that's like the trashiest one.
I bet it was 20 whatever. That's
17.
Yeah.
How long has Hinge been around?
I don't know.
I don't think Hinge was big back then. I don't know.
No?
I'm not. Have you ever done any of these much or no?
One of the apps?
Yeah.
I've had Hinge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know when that was. I don't know the popularity of year by year, but
yeah,
I feel like. Tinder was first of the game.
Yeah, but I thought Tinder was like 2012. I thought Tinder was like 10 years ago.
It was definitely earlier, for sure. But who knows? You're right, to a degree.
Yeah,
you know what else was fucking so slimy of him, speaking of Tinder, is how when he would make it official, when he would message them and be like, oh yeah, and all his communication was through WhatsApp too, which was another.
But isn't that just like a foreign country thing?
Yeah.
Yes and no. the other thing is it's totally encrypted. So
What's up, my love?
yeah,
He loves saying my love.
I love how he would be like, I want to make you my girlfriend. And then it would transpire into let's get an apartment together or whatever. But he would be
That
like,
was fucking wild,
he would
too.
be like, I want you to make your like Instagram private, and I want you to delete Tinder, so it's official. And the girls would be like, okay, like yeah. And then one of them was like, I was just curious one day, so I went back on it and I saw that
He was active.
he was active and had it updated, and it was like these new pictures and shit. Like another thing, like that doesn't fucking set a light bulb off.
Yeah, now give me 90 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what?
So
what is going on?
he would like rope one in and then be like, okay, cut off the fucking like source, put blinders on so you can't see that I'm like still doing.
But see,
this
you
shit.
say pathological as well, and they believe it. At the same time, the guy wanted to get a new face.
Oh yeah,
He was like ready to
Yeah.
fucking.
Dude, that was crazy.
yeah. Oh, I don't do. The doctor turned him down. He's like, only criminals ask for this.
Which I didn't know.
Face off.
Yeah,
Like, face off.
Yeah, I didn't know
never-
how prevalent that was.
The girl was like, he wanted new cheekbones, a new chin,
nose.
nose, forehead, and the doctor was like, no, I'm not doing it. And he started crying, and he was like,
Well,
throwing
that-
a tantrum.
That was like the best at the end. That girl, what was her name? Eileen, the
Yeah,
Dutch
yeah,
girl,
yeah.
where
She
she
was
just
badass.
gets her
So-
fucking revenge. Where because all his clothes were like, they said she's still like selling. It's like she's like, give me all your clothes, like because she worked in like luxury goods. Like, give me all your clothes. So she meets him in this like cabin basically in the fucking Czech Republic wilderness, gets all this luggage, puts it in her, and then just brings it home with her and just starts selling. And then he's like, where's my money? And she's like, nah. Like, I'm not giving you a
Dude,
goddamn
those
dime.
messages he were leaving her.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
I was sweet justice.
Yeah.
But I wondered too. She should have got the fucking watches. She probably covers
Well,
her bill.
they were
by that.
fake.
They were all
dude.
fake. The watches
All
were
of them though. He definitely had
Yo.
some real ones.
No.
Maybe. I don't know.
The minute he showed a picture, that like Patek or whatever, that's like Jay-Z, like I think made that watch famous. That watch is like $1 million. It's like there's no fucking way
Yeah,
that was real.
I obviously had fake ones, but I would assume he had real ones too.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm just the whole thing, and this is like I see time and time again when you see these stories of these like grifters, these professional con men, is it's like all the fucking work and effort they put into these cons. If they went the like legal route and did things like legally or started a business, they would be so successful because
Yeah.
they're so smart. They work their fucking ass off. Like, just fucking be straight and narrow. You will be successful.
Can you imagine?
I think it's like the adrenaline and like,
There's no way. Like if that guy worked for a company, he would defraud the company. You know,
Yeah.
like he was.
Yeah.
He's born to be a fucking scumbag criminal. Like that's my interpretation.
And like without any sort of conscience at all. Like,
Dude,
that's
none.
the thing where it's like I get like physically ill if I like have to tell a lie to somebody. You know, like if you skirt the truth, like I feel like this guy like, no, I'll put her in $200,000 of debt so I can drive around a Phantom while I fuck the other girl. It's crazy.
I mean, listen, though, at the same time, though, this is also, I mean, this is, at its core, this is a tale that's like tale as old as time.
Yeah.
Like someone taking their spouse's fucking credit card and just running that shit up, and then they're like, oh, fuck, now we're both fucked. But this is just way more
Well, and it's
elaborate.
all in the girl's name. Like,
Yeah.
just, send it to me in cash. And, it's just,
that was the other thing that I thought was so fucked up. And it just goes back to how like shady these corporate like companies and these banks are. Fucking American Express, especially, which that girl got banged really bad from. They are on the side of the customer always. Mm-hmm. Fucking always. If you dispute anything, it is so hard for like the company or the business to prove. You have to provide so many different kinds of like verification, proof, this and that. Sometimes I know businesses that are just like, fuck it. Like they account for a certain amount of chargebacks every month because devoting the time and the man hours is just doesn't.
I mean, even Amazon's like
doesn't balance. Yeah, doesn't balance out. So they just eat it. And there are people that will legit just fucking go out, buy shit, buy a night out, whatever. Call the company the next day, call a card the next day, and be like, "Yeah, it wasn't me," or "I got overcharged."
Oh yeah, I had a buddy in high school that would do that.
And
really,
yes,
well, listen,
and we're like, "Dude, what are you doing?"
But the card is always like, okay, like we'll refund you, we'll take it up with the business.
Oh yeah.
The fact that they stuck these girls with 200, 250 in like, and they're not getting under it. I was like, I kept waiting. I'm like, these girls are going to have it forgiven. Like it's all going to be a happy story. And at the end, they're like, yeah, we're still paying.
I wonder if now they will. That'd be great press for American Express.
I hope like Netflix cut them a big deal for their story.
Yeah.
Which cut it, but like that whole thing with me, like at the end, like when they're doing like the ending credits and like the one girl, Eileen, who was like instrumental in like taking him down and like sold all his clothes and was still making money in the clothes. She's like, well, I didn't get all my money back, but I'm still selling clothes and I probably never will. And it's like all the girls at the end were like smiling, like, oh yeah, we got him. And then like the end credits, like, yeah, she's still $200,000 in debt. Like you lost. Yeah. Like you should not be smiling under any circumstances because like you embarrassed him in a documentary. Like he still won. He did 5 months in jail. And if you look back on his Instagram, which is now private, he's still living like the same life.
But maybe in their eyes, they sacrifice for the future of women who would have fucking fell down the same slide.
I guess, but like they still personally lost.
Personally, yes.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, we got him. We got him. He did 5 months in jail. They didn't get shit.
That's an interesting point, too. So was it you who tweeted the other day about how in 2020... the banks made like $11 billion in overdrafts. I wonder if they just fucking cancel out the overdrafts versus the people who defraud the fuck out of them.
I tried to do a blog on it and it didn't get posted. But yeah, Chase alone made, I think, like $3 billion in overdraft fees one year.
Fucking Christ.
Which is nuts, dude. They're like, what, $34 a pop?
Oh, yeah, it's big.
And you know what they got? You know what they got fucked for? Someone whistle blew on them and said, I've suspected this forever. They will rearrange charges, especially over the weekend, so that they hit after your account goes negative so that they can fucking like ding you. So they'll like delay credits, like deposits and stuff.
Oh, that is
and
so
fucking and
scummy.
They'll lump charges together. So you know when you log into your account, it'll be like pending.
Yeah.
And then they'll all go through it once, like so that your account goes negative, and then there'll be like some on the back end. Yeah, like they know what they're doing.
That's tough.
But like that to me is just like
it's fucked because
we're like
the people are getting hit with overdraft fees are the ones that can't afford
barely
it.
Getting by.
Yeah, they're the ones that can't afford it.
See,
fucking charge higher fucking service fees for the people that have like 6 figures in their savings account. You know?
But this to me is like this is why we're supposed to have a government, is to protect the people against things like that. And it's like that just makes me fucking sick. That I had never heard that before. That's how they do those charges on purpose.
Yeah, it's fucked up. I'm gonna see if I can pull the blog out of
you send that blog to me.
The graveyard and see if I can
we'll get that blog
it.
published.
I'll see if I can resubmit it. But Ed, before we put a bow on this, I want to get your thoughts on Peter.
I need to know more about both of those guys.
I mean, Peter,
he looked like someone you do not want to fuck with.
Fuck no, dude. Peter, it's like, come on,
dude, he's huge.
He was a monster.
Tree trunk neck.
Like I
snake
saw him
tattoo.
on ESPN2 on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. a couple of years ago in the World's Strongest Man. You know, he was carrying the boulder.
He's putting the boulder up on the ledge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is going to be great for social.
Yeah, like that's who Peter was, right? Like he
looked exactly.
He looked like Mariusz Pudzianowski. You know who that is?
No, but
dude, Mariusz Pudzianowski, he fucking Pudzian, big Polish guy.
Okay,
he's one of the world's strongest mans. He won it before.
Oh, the big bald guy.
Yeah, you know, they all kind of got that same haircut as Peter. You know, if it's not bald, it's like you got a little. Yeah, you got a little bit of grass.
Yeah,
crazy eyes.
Yes,
just.
And then like how
Peter,
the reusing of that same picture, all Peter got hit in the head, like he's bleeding everywhere. I'm scared. They tried to stab me, and
My
Peter's got
enemies-
like a stitch in his head.
My
It's probably
enemies-
just like a fucking beer bottle.
So
My
that
enemy.
whole scene, I was like, they probably found an EMT, gave her like $500, said, let us into your fucking ambulance. He probably did one of those like Hulk Hogan razor blade cuts, you know, and they would like cut their head
Oh, yeah.
before they get hit by a chair and just
Oh, yeah.
fucking opens up everything.
Yeah.
Probably did a little one of those, smeared the blood around, and then staged some pictures. And the best part was how Simon was like in the pictures in the ambulance. Like,
Yeah.
like who the fuck is taking these pictures if you're in them?
Yeah.
And then he would send them to the girls and be like,
I'm so
very,
scared.
very bad.
Yeah. Lots
Probably
of blood.
fucking gave an EMS guy like fucking $1,000. Like, hey, let's take
Yeah.
a couple pictures in here.
Yeah,
Fucked.
here's a watch. Here's a
Yeah.
Rolex for you.
It's crazy. But yeah, Peter was fucking real deal.
And then you had the other little like skinny friend
Yeah.
who was his business partner.
Oh yeah, that guy, that fucking snake.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like if you're the con man, you're obviously like sick in the head and whatever. But if you're one of the partners, how fucked up do you have to be?
Yeah, I mean, that's actually my question for you. I feel like you've rolled with a
An eclectic crew.
Where's this going? Where the fuck is this going?
not a bad like. But listen, you've been to some high roller places. I'm sure you ran into people who you presume that had the backing to pay for X
Dude.
and X, but they don't. Right? How prevalent is that?
Dude, we had this kid a lot. If I named him, everyone that was in the industry would know who I'm talking about. His first name was Mike. He came out of nowhere. This is maybe around late 2000s, 2010. And right before the crash, 08, it was like crazy in the club scene in Chicago. People would go out. This is like when Reserve was around. Jordan had a table at Reserve. Everyone was making money in the market, in the real estate market. Everyone had big expense accounts. People would go out on a Thursday night and drop 10, 15 grand on a table, like nothing. Weekends, 20, 30, 40. This is Chicago, not Vegas. So the amounts of money that were flying around were out of fucking control. After 08, like the expense accounts got shut down. A lot of people lost their fucking, life savings. So it kind of like reined in a little bit, but there were a few like whales that would still, hop around. This one guy, Mike, came from out of nowhere. He was our age. He was like, 20s, late 20s. And he was supposedly the son of an investment banker. And he had this company and he was taking it over and all this. And he would just go out like by himself, blow it out with bottles of champagne, wouldn't even drink them, would just pour them out for girls. If no one else wanted them, he would dump them out in the ice bucket, like bring me another one, just trying to burn through money. Got to the point where that wasn't enough and he needed a bigger show. So he started paying clubs to let him DJ. So the table on the DJ booth wasn't enough. It wasn't bright enough spotlight. So then he started, like I had clubs like that I was booked at coming to me being like, hey, we got to let Mike see DJ for an hour. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's paying us 10 grand. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
I get it.
So he starts dating this rocket bottle server from this one place, gets her pregnant. And right after she gets pregnant, it's like the house of cards starts to fall. His card stops going through at places. He starts getting denied, starts asking for like lines of credit at these places, this and that. Then he stops like going out as much. And these places that are owed like, $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 start trying to track him down. So one place hired like a debt collector, like we know,
Yeah.
Okay.
to go find him. And he's like a PI. So he starts digging around, finds out his last name isn't his real last name. He basically started a Ponzi scheme where he had this investment fund where he was fudging the numbers. He was claiming outrageous returns to get people to give him
Invest,
money.
yeah.
And he was robbing Peter to pay Paul. So he would take your investment to kick back to Chief and say, I made you 20% last month. Let me know if you want back in. Holy shit, 20%? Reinvest it. You sure? Yeah, reinvest it. Some people would take the money, tell their friends, dude, my guy is killing it for me, blah, 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 blah. Oh, can you get me in with him? I don't know. It's really hard.
It was a Madoff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So eventually, I don't know what happened, but this poor girl's pregnant. He goes missing and shit hits the fan and his whole house of cards came tumbling down. He got pinched for fraud. He went away for like 3 or 4 years. But then he came back out, like erased his history of that or whatever, but he got a fucking job at a brokerage firm.
How?
I don't know, but I don't think he's licensed, but I think he's like not this Frank Abagnale thing, but I think he's like
sounds like the Wolf of Wall Street.
I think he's bringing in clients for them, and he's getting paid, which blows my fucking mind.
So he's still in the area?
And he's outside Chicago. He's in one of the burbs.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, to answer your question, like I know it's a long story. We've seen tons. Of people like this.
See, I was going somewhere with that.
Yeah.
I knew where I was going because that's just where your life and who you've hung out with, like not directly,
right.
but just like even
you have
indirectly.
more exposure to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because those people at those clubs, man, like that, like this guy was fucking doing this shit all the time.
Oh yeah.
Dude, fucking Club Ed. You see. You go out once in a blue moon. When you go out, it's special time. You
Makes it rain.
Yeah, you see the All-Stars.
Yeah, you do see the All-Stars.
L.A. was something else this week, man.
I didn't love it, man. I didn't love L.A.
It was. I didn't mean it. It was something else in a good way. It was like, I mean, fucking Dave almost got shot.
I know. I got to hear the story on the show. Oh, you didn't see that?
What?
Dude, he was 5. He was next to Kodak Black when he got shot.
Okay.
You didn't see that?
I did not see that.
Yeah.
No.
I got to get the story.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Tune into the Portnoy show. Well, it's already out.
It's already out, so the story's out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right then. I think that's it. We got to start giving ratings on this too. Let's do a 1, 2, 3 rating system. Okay. 3 you would watch again. 2, 1 no, I would never watch it again.
That's kind of binary.
What do you mean?
I think 2 should be like.
Okay, but I don't think I would ever watch a documentary twice.
But I'm saying like if you.
I would recommend it.
Yeah, I say 2 is
okay.
2 is recommend, or no.
3 is recommend. 2 is if there's nothing else on.
Okay.
1 is you would not recommend.
Okay.
All right, Dante.
3.
Chief.
3.
I give it a 3 as well. 3s across the board. Go watch the Tinder Swindler on Netflix. And yeah, that's it for today's Free Swim doc review.
What do you think his statement is going to be? I'm so glad you brought this up. I'm like on
I
pins and
can't
needles.
wait. I like requested to follow him because he went private. So I'm like,
Been
I
a
got
couple weeks, so we'll see.
How do you think he tries to get out of this?
I don't know. He wanted in several. I think he doesn't get out of it. I think this shines a whole new light.
How about the fact that he currently has an Israeli supermodel girlfriend?
It's crazy. Yeah, Portnoy DM'd her too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're right.
He tried to get her on the show.
You're right. They showed that at the
He's
end.
big on this too.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's crazy shit. But all right, then we'll end there. Go watch it. That's it for today, everybody. Thank you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you then.